Boom! We are here, and Ryan did the dashing around and everything.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. How is everyone this morning? It is Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversation, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. As always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Good morning, Ryan. 100-yard dash, 100-meter dash. Nice.
Yes. Hey, good to see you, Dr. Vibe. For
Yeah.
those that don't know who Ryan Knight is, one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. So we work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to support their business based on what stage they're in, and then help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. I am an entrepreneur myself. I run a company called Detailing Nights. So we provide mobile car cleaning, and we go to your house or to your office, clean your car on the spot without using water, and our plant-based, eco-friendly cleaning supplies. But what I'm most proud of is our youth entrepreneurship program. So next month, we are going to start recruiting for the next season. So if you have a child in high school, even in college, that is struggling to find a job, let us show them they have the potential to start their own business, and they could be working with the Knights.
Working with the Knights. I like that. That sounds like a television series. Working with the Knights.
Ooh,
I like
reality television.
Well, working with the Knights. I love that. I love that. Well, before I like that working. We got creatives like crazy here. So we got a new television, so anyone wants to pick up some new content, working with the Knights. That's a new thing. That's a new thing.
All right.
So
Yes.
let's do our Monday morning tradition. This program, or this episode of the Morning Vibe, is sponsored by the McMillan Group, providing mortgage solutions one client at a time since 1999, buying, refinancing, or selling, or investing. Call them, Canada, 905-813-4354, US 904-586-5836. Thank you, McMillan Group, as per always. And as we always like to do with our friends at the McMillan Group, we like to make sure we show all their information. So it's right up here. There's a Canadian number, 905-813-4354. US number, 904-586-5636. Toll free in North America, 866-883-0885. Website, themcmillangroup.inc.com, and email raycmcmillan@gmail.com. What has been going on in the world of Ryan Knight? It seems like forever that we've spoken. Right? It just Ryan Knight.
This past weekend has been the mad dash for the Desjardins Good Spark Grant. So if those have been following my Instagram or LinkedIn, I've been telling people get their applications in. It was due last night, because I know today and possibly tomorrow, I get calls all the time. It's like, oh, what grants are out there for businesses? Here was one. So I tried my best to make sure that people knew that it existed, got their applications in. We did a couple sessions and said, hey, let's get it in, people. At least let them say no instead of us talking ourselves.
I didn't do it
after these grants. Exactly. Okay. So yeah, that was fun. Always fun to answer questions and support people doing their grants.
Well, okay, and your internet is a little bit slow this morning, but we're going to work it through. So And also a
I
big
think
thing
that's just
too, we we like to we like to talk the talk, but also walk the walk. So if people have been watching over the last few episodes, I said that Ryan and I would submit to Desjardins. We did that.
yes. So it's in.
We did that. We did. So it's done. So
Yes.
world, watch out. And we'll
And
see.
just in
And but
case people still might have missed what we were talking about, so Desjardins was giving
go
away
ahead.
$20,000 as a grant, and they're going to be selecting 150 businesses to get $20,000 each. So yeah, Dr. Vibe and I said, hey, we do this show. We've been doing it for close to 2 years. So hey, let's put an
Yeah,
application and
yeah.
see if we can get some funding.
Yeah, well, as always for me, I don't like to do like I'd rather do things with collaboration. And we always hear, well, we got to do collaboration, we got to do collaboration. So we did it. We did
And we
it.
should still, we're gonna reach out to Desjardins directly and say like, hey, we'd love to be a partner. We can sponsor the show. I feel I didn't see a lot other people promoting the grant as much as we did, so that could be like our portfolio of execution to promote things that they're doing.
Absolutely.
So we'll definitely put that together.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to work on that too, that angle, as they would say, angle also in regards to the promotion. So what else has been going on? I know it's got to be busy for a lot of Black entrepreneurs right now.
Yeah, and gearing up for the Christmas season. So I feel like officially we're in the holiday season, and a lot of pop-ups are happening around the city. So definitely a lot of ways to spend the money in the Black community. We're doing our best to sponsor different pop-up shops. I know the Queens of Durham, no, the Black Queens of Durham had their pop-up shop recently. Oh, who else? There was one that just passed this. Oh, that was the one this weekend. Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
2 days. One is coming up next week. I know Jamal, he's doing his with Empro Graphic. Also, the Canadian Black Owned Marketplace, they're doing a pop up next week. So, gonna try and get around to support and hey, go spend your money within the community, circulate the Black dollar. It's the best way to get your gifts for Christmas. So no excuses. There's definitely a lot of ways to shop Black this year.
Okay, so we got some people chiming in. World Moss through your LinkedIn channel says Grand Rising.
All right.
Fitness IQ Cam, otherwise known as KSF EYL RWFQ, has signed in. Also, she says, I feel like you all need to provide a list of pop-ups in the Discord, please and thank you. Yeah, I like that idea.
You make a spreadsheet.
Yeah, like she wants to be the executive producer of this show. I didn't know if I've told you, but she wants to run things.
The spot is vacant, so let's get her in.
We have to go through an interview process, though. We just don't let anybody in, right? We just don't let anybody in.
There's another grant, the Ripen one, where we can get support. That might be a way to get a producer, maybe.
Right. Well, we'll talk about Ripen. Well, you know what? Let's talk about it. So Ripen is a resource that you can get post-secondary students on what they call projects from 2 to 8 weeks for a total of 80 hours. And I've been using that resource for the last maybe year and a half, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
This year has been very interesting. So we're going to go down this path for a moment. We'll get our friend up in just a moment. But so earlier on this year, they stopped the program because they had run out of funding. They didn't say it outwardly, but I found on the back and they had run out of funding. But about in September, they said, oh, we're going to be opening up the program again. Bang, 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 bang. And also Fitness says, and network events, LOL. Okay. And I don't know what you're saying. Is that so? To what? When you put a question like that, we don't know what you're talking about. So you got to be more detailed. So now the Ripen process is this. If you're a business and you want to apply, first you've got to provide your business number. Then you got to provide photo ID. Then you've got to provide articles of incorporation. Then you've got to provide. It's just not not a good process. It's not a user-friendly process.
Right.
And I said to myself, should I just turn away or should I keep on digging? So I
Hmm.
eventually got approved, but I did have a chance to talk to their senior project manager last week, and I said, "Why is this process so ridiculous?" And he said,
Yeah, like what changed?
a number of companies, they said, were fraudulent, were using the service,
Wow.
and their funder required them to have this sort of authentication, yeah, process. And I
Yes,
said, but
yes.
it's ridiculous. It's like I said, it's got to be the third party vendor you have with this process. So they also now, so a week ago they sent me another. Oh, we have a new program called Advance Ontario, which you can get if you're an Ontario-based business. You can get the use of one project, which is one student for 2 to 20 hours once a year. So that's in conjunction with the Ripen. Well, the nice thing about the Ripen, if you can survive it through, you get 5 projects a year. So you potentially get each student can do 5 projects a year. They've got to be enrolled in a post-secondary institution. So 5 projects means like up to 400 hours of work.
Right.
Just
That,
wonderful.
yeah,
But the
that's solid.
process, their process is not good at all. It's like for employer, it's crazy. So the Advance Ontario one, I said, okay, you're running this program. You say, oh, you'd be a good qualification. I said, okay.
Mhm.
So first I'm going, hold on. You already have my information. Why am I going through this process again on a program that you're already
Right,
running?
it's connected. That
So I said, okay, let me see if the process is any smoother. Okay, put in my at my business number address. Then the software, like the previous one, asked me for a picture of myself.
okay.
You already have some ID with a photo of me. Now you need
Yes.
a picture, which I can understand. Make sure the photo ID matches who you are. Okay. So
Uh,
I tried to do the picture of myself on my desktop computer. I get this message, cannot recognize your software. So
yes.
so I said, okay, I switch over to my phone.
Okay.
So it goes onto my phone and it's asking me, turn your head left, turn your head
Come
right.
on. Mugshots?
Not finished yet.
Alright.
It took me an hour to get that picture done.
Do the oh my goodness.
So
But they
after
wouldn't just let you upload a picture? This is that that is not user friendly at all.
okay, so then when I get my picture process done, then it starts asking me for my business number. So
Okay, yes.
I'm doing this just to see how crazy this is. And
Right.
you already have my information. You already have my information. So then they ask me for my articles of incorporation. I say, hold on a second. I don't have this stored on my phone.
Now you have to go back.
I'm not going. I said, I stopped. I said, after an hour and a half, I said, I'm done.
Nah, that yeah, because that just becomes overly frustrating, and people just dismiss
Right.
it.
I'm done. I said,
Yeah,
I'm glad I got into the Ripen program. That's fine enough. That gives me more resources in the Advanced Ontario. And yes, LOL, too much. Exactly. And I made the people aware, Ripen. I said, after an hour and a half, I put in bold letters. I stopped. I said, do you think employers are going to have an hour and a half and the time and patience to do this? Now, on the students'
right.
end, if you sign up for the program, you've got to provide photo ID. Plus, you've got to provide proof that you're enrolled in a post-secondary institution.
Oh boy.
So,
Okay.
and
Well,
a lot of students may or may not have that on hand. They got to dig for that. And I'm saying, really?
ah,
Now, another interesting lens on this situation. For those who watch the Morning Vibe, I chatted with Manifa Brooks about this, and
okay.
she said what they're asking for information wise, they shouldn't be asking. So that's a breach of privacy, etc. And she
Ooh,
looked their third party who does all the verification. They hold on to your information for 3 years. Why?
yeah. Interesting. See how you have to read the terms and conditions because
That's
you
why
want
we
to
have
realize
that's
it's a third party,
right.
right?
person. I'm not going to say the name of the third party they have doing the veric, but she said she said out. She goes, Doctor, you know me, Dr. Vibe, and she went deep digging into this.
Ooh.
She went deep digging, and she said, "Do you want me to come on a call with you and tell them that what they're doing is just not right?" Because, and I don't know if they realize this or not, but she said in Quebec they can't do that process with the Quebec privacy laws.
Okay, but then it should be somewhat similar up here too, because if it's that's not a good look.
Not at all. And I've been able to get some resources from and I asked the students, what has the process been like?
Mm-hmm.
They're not fans, and both of these resources have used the program before, and they said, like, it was like one person, and I have a group of students that signed up to get into the program from September.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't heard anything back. Right, so the lady I was with, the
go
senior
through
project,
the whole process, and
no, they haven't even gone to the process yet. They just signed up. They got basically an automated response, say basically, hey, you seem that you qualified the program, and we'll get back to you. September. It's now December. Now I do hail up the product manager who I was speaking with, project manager, because she said, give me their names and give me their email addresses, and I'll email them directly and CC you. I said, fantastic.
Yeah, but you see when it's like you have to have somebody on the inside to get things going, and you have to advocate for them. It's
I'm just going like, and I told these students from September, this program,
exactly,
and I'm making it's damaging my credibility, but they understand when I tell them what I'm trying to do to get through. They go, she says, Dr. Vibe, we appreciate you because you're fighting for us. We want to work with you. You're a really good guy. And so I want you to get experience. So who knows, but it's just not. So Ripen program, if you're willing to tolerate, if you're an employer to go through all those hoops. And when I spoke to the project manager, he goes, yeah, we've heard it from all these people. Say, okay, well, what are you doing about it?
Yeah, exactly. So you hear the feedback, but you're not using it to improve the process.
The process.
A lot of times people, they get stuck with, now we have to do all of these things for compliance. And it's like people just have to suffer through it, or they'll say like, well, then you won't get the support if you're not willing to go through the criteria that they put in front.
I have no idea. So it was just. So if anyone wants to apply for the program, I would say get in contact with me and I'll tell you what you're going to have to do. Maybe your experience will be different than mine. But, and here's the funny thing. I got an email from them about 2 weeks ago saying, hey, we are looking to add on more programs, this and that. Can you please sign this letter of support?
Okay. It makes it difficult to, advocate for them.
I'm going, hold on a second. You're and hey, you gotta ask. So I did tell the senior project manager, I said, you know what, you sent me this thing, I couldn't sign it. Because I said I'd be rubber stamping all this.
Exactly.
No, I can't. I have to give myself some integrity. I said, no, I can't sign it. I said, I can't sign it. I can't sign it. Simple as that. So there you go. Anything else we're going to chat about? We're going to take a break, then we get our guests on because I wouldn't want to just introduce them and then go to a break. Anything else you want to chat about? Anything else that's going on?
Well, one quick thing as you're talking about process and procedures. So there's the Ontario Raise Grant that is.
Yes, I need to get that link from you because that's due in 2 days, isn't it?
Well, it's due on the 8th. But
I got to get that link from you today because I got to work on that.
Yeah, this one, they're only going first come, first serve. So as soon as that money is done, then they're going to close it. I haven't seen it closed yet.
One.
So
I got to carve some of that time with you again. We got to work on that.
I was due today. Yeah, later today we should find time.
Okay. I was going to make a big announcement about something that happened over the weekend, but I'm saying it would take away from our friend and all that. But something, if you follow the Dr. Vibe show, something big happened on Saturday and something big happened on yesterday. And the thing that happened on Saturday is huge. So I
close out the show with it. So people got to watch and I'd love to hear the news at the end.
We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick little break, and then we're gonna come back. We have our friend on, and we're gonna be talking with Sean De Freitas. And hey, it's December, and especially if you're a business, even if you're a person, do you have all your receipts in order? Do you have all your receipts in order? He is an CPA. We're going to talk about end of year. A lot of people thinking party, 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 but do you have your books in order? Do you have your receipts in order? So we'll come back in about 90 seconds on the Morning Vibe.
And that's what I feel like. You feel like you're the Harry Tubman of the mind.
I am.
I feel like I'm I'm one of the Harry Tubmans of intelligent Black people. Like, I want to liberate y'all from like being left behind and ignored and oblivion. No, really, the rappers get all the attention. Seriously, does anybody else feel this way? Like ignorant Black people, they'll be all up, getting all the headlines on the Shade Room.
Overly sexualized Black folks.
Like the twerkers and the just people that don't always represent the best of us. The diversity. Like people like Dr. Vibe. Like everybody should know about people like Dr. Vibe. Dr.
Really
Vibe he's trying to do good work for Black people.
Dr. Vibe from Toronto. Good to see you, my brother. Dr. Vibe. Everybody follow Dr. Vibe. He has a great show. He's very good at what he does, and I have a lot of respect for him.
Okay, so let me hop into this. What's up, Dr. Vibe? How you doing? Everybody, if you see Dr. Vibe in the chat, everybody go follow the Dr. Vibe show. Dr. Vibe is a real smart brother and a good human being. I like the guy a lot, and he's very intelligent. And I think everyone should pay attention to what he's got going on. We got to shine the spotlight on the intelligent Black people out here that are really doing the good work. Don't just pay attention to the rappers and the celebrities. A lot of these people are losers. Your true winners are your people in your community that are really having your back. Helping us to have stronger families and a stronger community. So Dr. Vibe is in that category. So you might see the Dr. Vibe show in this chat. If you see him, please go follow him. Okay. All right. So anyway.
Thanks for the shout out, Dr. Boyce and Alicia.
Well, the thing that I'm teasing about involves Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia. Both things over the weekend involve both of them. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it at the tail end today. Maybe if Ryan wants me to do that, we'll do that because it's Ryan's show. I'm just the earthing. But let's get down to it. Sean De Freitas, and I had the pleasure and honor meeting Sean. I'd say about maybe 2 years ago. We were part of an organization, and I had a chance to meet with him. We knew each other virtually for a while. We didn't meet probably till earlier on this year, face to face. And when it came to Black businesses, especially entrepreneurs in this country, it's so many times I say, you should get an accountant. And I refer Sean and they go, oh, no, he's great. He's fantastic. They knew about him even before I referred him.
Yes.
And he is a really amazing guy. He wants to champion Black business. And I said, let's get him on because it is the end of the year. Again, the last thing people are thinking about are receipts and taxes and all that sort of stuff. And I think it goes well having last Friday's conversation with Wayne Harris.
Yes.
We have Sean because Wayne is a, financial literacy, but this is a gentleman who deals with finances every day. Right. Welcome, Sean. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good to have you.
Very pleased to be here. Thank you for those kind words. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Sean makes a lot of people's lives better, especially mine. We're going to beginning a business relationship. I got to get my house in order. Fully disclosure, but we have him here. So people, especially if you're live and you're based in Canada, if you have any questions about taxes, accounting, all this stuff, this is the man. And welcome Wendy Vincent of Convo Media. Hope you enjoyed that vegan outing we had about a week or so ago. So before we get down into it, Sean, can you share a little bit of background about yourself, please, and thank you?
Yeah, no, most certainly. Thank you for the opportunity. Really pleased to be here. Really excited to be here. So yes. Thank you. I'm a founder and business owner of Zayick Accounting and Finance. I've held a CPA, professional accounting designation now for a little over 23 years.
Wow.
I'm passionate and enthusiastic about accounting and finance. I really enjoy the industry. I enjoy interacting with various businesses, people. I'm mindful that the guidance and the insight I provide always adds value. It's always, looking to drive things forward. There are a lot of stereotypes about accountants, being boring and math nerds, etc. And I definitely dispel all of those stereotypes. During my time, I've had to, develop a number of skills: commercial awareness, innovation, communication, just really being able to communicate sometimes complex information, sometimes complex structures in a meaningful way, and really breaking that down so it's understandable. During my time in the industry, I found that no venture, no project, no initiative is really going to get off the ground and remain sustainable unless there's a focus and there's attention paid to the numbers. So, I'm a preacher of knowing your numbers, know your numbers, know your numbers, because knowing your numbers is akin to, back when we were at school, we had report cards. You would get an A, a B, a C. The numbers and knowing your numbers is, that meaningful. In certain areas you're going to have an A. Keep doing what you're doing. In certain areas you're going to have, a C or a D, and those are the areas that you need to, pay attention to, pay focus to. What is happening in those areas? Why you're not performing and meeting the standards that you had set for yourself. So yeah.
So let me ask, what got you into accounting? Because let me be honest with you, Sean. I don't see too many brothers who are as passionate about accounting like you are.
What my gateway was really wanting to get into business management, and I went to I'm a migrant. I've migrated and been in Canada now for the last 12 years. So I grew up in London, in England. And on leaving school, I took a business and finance course in college. And within that particular course, it's seeing that accounting was really at the center of everything. So accounting, was really something that was at the heart of business. And then from there, being able to handle the concepts, debits, credits, balance sheets, profit and loss, and just really, kind of gravitating to that. So the gateway was wanting to get into business management, business ownership, and managing and leading businesses. That was the gateway. And then from the courses that I took, just really kind of gravitating towards the accounting side of things, and the seeing how that then impacted business, impacted decision making, impacted the overall direction and trajectory of business.
Oh, interesting. And so I'm familiar with Sean because he's the accountant for ACBN with his colleague Shagun or Shalom. But I've never, like, you mentioned that you're from London, England, but we've never really talked about it. So curious, how old were you when you emigrated from London, and what was growing up overseas like?
Growing up in London was amazing. So just a little bit of a kind of a history lesson, as it were, with Great Britain and their empire, their Commonwealth, where they went out, in the 1900s, and kind of I'm trying to find a PC way of putting it. It's invaded. I'm going to say it. Just call it for what it is. They went and invaded various countries across the world. So, India, Africa, the Caribbean, their hands and participation in the transatlantic slave trade. So yeah, there's a number of Caribbean islands which they colonized. Jamaica, St. Lucia being one, and that's part of my heritage. Guyana, Barbados. There are a number of countries that they colonized. So after World War II, the country was decimated, and they needed labor to help them to build back up their infrastructure. So again, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So they put out a lot of propaganda in the community in India and in the West Indies that the streets of London, Britain were paved with gold. You should come. We're going to take you in. We're going to look after you. And again, the streets are paved with gold. You can earn your fortune. So my parents were, one of the ones who answered the call and migrated to Britain during the 60s, the early 60s. What they met there was very, very different. In them trying to find housing in London was almost impossible. Landlords had signs in the windows of their property which said, "No blacks, no dogs, no Irish." So this is the reality that they met when they were there. But the communities strived, they pulled together, they persevered, and they flourished. My parents met in the 60s, and I'm one of 4 siblings. But yeah, it was difficult times for those who migrated.
Sorry, they met in London, or
they met. Funny story. My parents actually met. My dad he was a lodger in one of my aunt's properties. So I'm guessing my mum, came through the property and attraction and
That's so cool. All right. So let's just catch up on some comments here. Good morning. I spoke Wayne Harris's name. He is here. Good morning, gents. Fitnance IQ Cam says, "Hi, Sean. I'm excited for what you'll say." Dr. Tachi. Yes, Dr. Tachi, the host of Mediascope, the live show about media tech and pop culture that's online right here, right now. Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Instagram, 6 p.m. Wednesdays, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitch. And part of what I'm maybe say today or maybe say on Friday, yesterday involved Dr. Tachi. So she was involved on Saturday evening's big win and yesterday's big win. So we'll see. And maybe I'll ask Dr. Tachi to come on Friday morning to talk about. Maybe I'll do that. We'll see. Opal Inspire says, "Good morning, everyone." We already have a question out of the box for you, Sean. Fitness IQ Camp says, "Are you familiar with the tax rules in London as well?"
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
So how old were you when you came to Canada?
38.
Okay, gotcha.
So and then again, growing up in London was amazing. Amazing childhood. Lots of great experiences. I grew up in an area. I grew up in North London in an area called Tottenham. Who also has a fantastic football team.
Yes.
Today, but we won't get into that. But so I grew up in Tottenham. It's one of these areas that would be defined as being economically challenged. I grew up in a working class, with working class parents. Parents definitely worked hard, strived, good values, made sure we had a roof over our head, food in our stomachs, clothes on our back. And definitely instilled, I definitely think my work ethic and my drive definitely comes from my parents. They were definitely workers. I'm very mindful of my kind of ancestry, my legacy. and wanting to do them proud. So, yeah,
Excellent.
definitely
Excellent.
got a good website.
Just before we go, a few things. We're doing a little bit of a broadcast on Instagram Live, so I want to shout out Halfway in the Sky Woman and Dr._Tachi. So Dr. Tachi's watching on this platform and also on Instagram Live, which is absolutely wonderful. A few other things didn't say it at the beginning because I went on a Vibe rant about Ripen. So please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. Hit the notification button. Also subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and also subscribe wherever Ryan is broadcasting, whether it's his own personal account or the ACBN. Also, to advertise your business, product, or service on the Dr. Vibe Show or any of the platforms, please email me dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And also, as Ryan said earlier, Discord group. Join our Discord group. I'm gonna probably ask Sean a favor right off. He didn't expect this, but Sean, would you be willing to give 10 tips for good tax preparation?
Yeah.
So we can do that offline, and if you could, I'll share it with our Discord group, which gives them another reason to join. Some 10 tax tips when it comes from Sean. And for those who are watching live on the replay, I've already shared out on whatever platform. And can't do it on Ryan's channels on his LinkedIn or YouTube, but on my platforms, if you want to have a question for Sean, I've already sent out his email address and contact information.
Excellent.
So it's there. So whether live on the replay, it's there. So just want to get back to, I think we may have another question here from the audience. Well, Fitness IQ can't believe 30 what? You came over to Canada? and she says, black don't crack indeed. There you go. Ryan, I have a pile of conversation pieces. I know you two, both of us know Sean. Do you want to start off any sort of comments, questions?
Well, again, I'm very fascinated about the backstory. So I was curious, what did pull you to Canada? So you really grew up in London, and then you said it was great. So I'm curious, what did finally pull you to this side?
Love.
Lovely.
I was in a relationship with so I was married to my child's mum, my children's mum, I should say. We lived in London for 10 years. She was homesick. And so, we made, and I always wanted an opportunity of living overseas and experiencing life outside of the UK. So we came to Canada. Unfortunately, our relationship didn't stand the test of time, but we're still, amicable, favorable. We've got 2 beautiful children. One who's off to college in Niagara. And the other one, she's in her last year at elementary. So we were just looking at high schools. So me and Mom have been discussing, high school options.
Okay, good. So Dr. Tachi says the man is aging backwards.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. And Scotian with the Potion has joined on Instagram. Good stuff. The Energy Shack Juice Bar jumped on Instagram. Man, people loving you. Sean says Sean is too thorough. I had to give him a follow on LinkedIn. There you go. He hasn't even talked about numbers yet. Yes. So here, thank you for sharing some of your backstory. Really appreciate that. Sean, especially post-pandemic, the number of Black businesses you have engaged with, I know has gone like this.
Yeah.
So my first question is, since the pandemic, give a really rough, how many conversations have you had with Black businesses in total? Approximately, because I knew a while back I asked you, and I know that's even higher now. So approximately, how many do you think you've spoken to since pandemic, approximately?
In terms of individual businesses and business owners, it's got to be north of 350.
Right. Holy. But and I have seen you're really involved with different organizations and their support of business owners. So I can see where, you're able to have a lot of those conversations.
Yeah.
But what are the trends that you're seeing in these conversations? Like, what are things that people are struggling with that you typically have to help business owners really get put in order properly?
Yeah. So to talk on the positive, definitely the passion, enthusiasm to want to really take on business ownership, and really to step up and want to be a leader and to dominate within that particular field. So that's one of the positives. One of the challenges that I keep coming across, the recurring theme, is around pricing and really not sort of sitting down and really looking at this from a sort of a real structured viewpoint. So yes, you've got to cover the cost of materials, but then you've got to also look at your fixed overheads. So if it is that you have a brick and mortar location, what does that entail? What does that involve? And look at all of those costs that are associated with that. But the big omission, and the one trend and the recurring item is not building a salary for themselves into their pricing. So it's one of the things that I keep coming across, and it's one of the first things that we've got to sit down and dissect, because ultimately this business has to pay you. You have to earn a living from this business.
You got to eat.
Say that again.
You got to eat.
Absolutely.
Well, it's interesting you say that, and I'm not going to bring up the person's name, but Sean, if I give you some description, I think you know who I'm talking about. There is a lady who works in the field of accessibility.
Yep.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yep, I do.
Okay. She had approached me a while back saying, "Oh, Dr. Vibe, I've got this opportunity to present in front of an organization, this, that's, and that." And I said, "Well, what are the circumstances?" She said, "Oh, well, the person they had can't make it and they want me." I said, "When is this presentation?" "Oh, it's in 3 days." Okay. And I say, "So how much do you normally how much you charge for your presentation?" She told me. I said, "Does that include the preparation time?"
Yeah.
No. I said, "How? What? You're only pricing yourself for being there. You should also take into account the time you have to prepare. You're picking up from somebody else." And I said, "Do they already have the presentation?" "Yes." "So then you've got to put yourself into their head."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Wow, I didn't realize that." So what I want to share with you about Sean is he's not just, debits and credits. He's looking at your whole business model.
Absolutely.
And there's a difference, and Mario Armstrong taught me this a long time ago. There's a difference between a sale and revenue.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. You can make a sale, people, but you could lose money.
Yep.
Right? Go deeper on that.
this bald head here, I want every sale you make, unless you have to lower your price and there's other benefits down the road, you should have money either to put in your bank account or to reinvest in the business or to pay you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sean, if you want to add on that, I'd love you to.
No, absolutely. It is one of the recurring themes that I'm coming across, is just really the sitting down and really breaking down that whole pricing component, and then from there, just really having a plan. It's one of the first things that I come across, or one of the first things that I attempt to introduce when I'm meeting with business owners is to, yes, I want to understand what it is that you're doing, what you're up to, but I want to know where you plan to be. What's your vision, in 5 years? So, where are you going to be on the 31st of December, 2028, 2029? What does the business look like? How many employees do you have? Who are your customers? Where are you going to be from a location viewpoint? So really understanding that vision, and then from there we can then build a plan and put processes in place so that plan is actually materialized, and then you can measure yourself against that. You've now got something to challenge yourself against. So in 6 months' time, have you attained a particular milestone? Are you moving towards those particular milestones? And that's how you sort of really measure yourself, and you're able to move forward.
All right. I got a question here. Ms. Hall, good to have you in from Alberta, asking Sean, do you work with sole props, corporations, or both? Apologies if you already mentioned this. He hasn't mentioned that, so it's a great question.
Yep, no, it is. So yes, I absolutely work with sole props. I work with solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, small businesses, and medium-sized businesses.
There you go. And she I think she's become a fan. He goes, he has a holistic approach. I like that. So contact him if you like that. Ryan, go ahead. Back to you.
Well, I was curious your thoughts on the definitions of small business and medium business. Like, where do you typically place business owners on their stages to say, like, okay, if you're at a certain stage, you're defined as this? Because I feel like small business is so broad.
Typically, it's down to revenues and employees. So the stages that I use are kind of 0 to 250, 300,000. I would kind of suggest that that's the solopreneur, kind of small business. Then once you've broken out of that 300,000 and you're working your way to 1 million, 2.5 million in terms of revenue, then I would consider you to be, at that sort of next stage. And then once you've broken through that 2.5 million, and then onwards to maybe about the 80 million, then you're in that other phase, as it were.
Right. Okay, makes sense.
All right. So Brian, I guess you're in that last category.
Yeah, working towards it. I will claim that and accept it.
Receive. So Sean, through your lens, where do you see the state of Black business? Because you have a really important lens, the financial lens. Where are you seeing the state of Black business on December 4th, 2023 in this country?
At a really good stage. There are a lot of business owners here, and they cover a range, like a wide range of different industries and different types of business. From fishery. I've worked with an individual who's doing like marine studies out in the Pacific. Yes, we've got the skincare and the food type businesses, but businesses are really covering the complete gamut. Working with a business who produces vegan cookies, and his growth has been like phenomenal in terms of he just began at the beginning of the quote unquote pandemic. That's when he started his business, and to where he is now, it's phenomenal. So the state of Black businesses is it's good, it's healthy, and again, just individuals wanting to put themselves out there and to actually become entrepreneurs and to get involved and to take leadership is incredible. One of the things that I'm hoping we're going to be able to do more of moving forward, and we are beginning to develop strong relationships with some of the financial institutions, it's the raising of capital. That's the one area we're really leaning on institutions such as the big banks. I'm not going to name them.
Exactly. I was going to say, whoa, be careful.
We're really leaning on them.
All right.
There are a few of them really stepping up.
Okay. Just going back to Instagram, Jesus Blackman 23. Hey, I know you're from the US, and He says black businesses are doing well. Sean is based in Canada, so he's saying black businesses in Canada are starting to really do well. So that's his perspective. And I did meet Jesus Blackman through Dr. Tachi's platform, Mediascope. So he's saying that the only way black businesses thrive is go Green Book. I don't know what Green Book 2.0 is, so I'll have to find out what that is. So
I can make a note of that.
There's some other questions about Sean had talked about, paying yourself. So the question came in direct. It's like, how do you pay yourself as a business owner? Like, what are elements that are missing that's not allowing business owners to pay themselves?
It's really setting out that the components within your pricing. So it's really setting things out and laying those foundations. So for instance, if it is that your costs of materials, say the cost of you actually, producing that particular item are $5, you can sell X amount of those particular units. But you yourself, your salary should be somewhere in the region of, you need, maybe 70, 80, 90,000 annually to live. Then you divide that across a month, and then you add that component into your monthly run rate. And then that's your price. And you can't go below that price because, again, you have to pay yourself. And then again, there's another thing I challenge business owners with as well. You shouldn't be trying to be the lowest price producer on the block. You should not be the lowest.
Thank you.
You have to look to other areas within your offering, quality, certain other attributes, but being the lowest price product on the block, that's not the strategy to use.
Okay, so got a Dr. Tachi who's watching us on two different platforms, says Green Book was a concept that was a network of safe business for black travelers to patronize during Jim Crow in the American South. Thank you. Love that. And Dr. Tachi says, I think he is advocating for a revival. Fitness IQ says, guilty. I don't know guilty of. And says, will hinder you. Fitness IQ, you got to give more context. You just say these one word things. We're not psychologists. We're not, we're not Dr. Alicia Watkins here. All right. So coming back. Oh, someone here we know. Share Knight says, good morning, all. Sean, just wondering. I get conflicting advice in regard to the pros and cons of incorporation for nano businesses. What are your thoughts? Great question.
Incorporation, if you are a serious player, you're going to get incorporated. I don't see any other ways around it. If you're serious about business, is serious about being in business, then you're going to get incorporated.
Yeah,
there's lots of ways that incorporation can help you and can aid you. That for me, there are no downsides of incorporation.
Yeah. When I was thinking about starting my own business, I reached out to a gentleman who's a lawyer, and I told him and I said, well, one of my clients is Dove Men Plus Care. He says, incorporate, please. He said, you're dealing with a global brand. Don't go. And the funny thing is, people, for at least my experience, it wasn't that expensive. It was like I don't think you don't have to spend like more than $500. I spent less than that to get incorporated.
Yep.
And it's an investment. It's not an expense. And also too, one of the reasons why that lawyer told me, said, look, one of the reasons is it makes you look more professional as a business that you're incorporated. And it means that whoever you're dealing with, they know you're serious. You've incorporated, you've taken the time to get incorporated. So I think that that's a good thing. We have another question here from Fitness IQ Cam. Adding value to included your salary. Adding value to your salary. I think that's what she's wanting to say. We want to expand on that?
Sean, we were talking about taking that amount that should be a salary and then dividing it so that it can be included now into the price. Is that?
Yep.
I think what Fitness is talking about?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh wow, Greaser Eats. Ray, my gosh, Ray Williams is in the house. What is up, Ray?
Good to see
We need
you.
to get you on, Ray. Wayne Harris was
we
mentioned.
were supposed to be invited to, I believe, a barbecue cookout was supposed to happen after he came on our show and said that food is life. So we're waiting for that.
We got to reach out to Ray and see if he come on the show. But Ray, we want to invite to a cookout. Even though I've gone plant-based, I'll deviate for a day to go to the Ray Williams soiree. All right, so there you go. Let me and Fitness IQ talks about it here. Really interesting. She's going with a conversation. He said being the lowest cost. Why is it not good for many entrepreneurs to go with being lowest cost?
Because you have nowhere to move to. You've got no other strategy. If your product is the lowest, the lowest priced offering on the shelf, if you need to diversify from a strategic viewpoint, where do you go? If you're the lowest priced, if you were kind of in the middle or upper quartile from a pricing viewpoint, then you could begin to offer discounts. If it is that you wanted to incentivize customers, you could say, look, there's 20% off, or buy one get one free. There are other things that you can do. But if you're the lowest priced item on the shelf, there's no movement for you. There's nowhere for you to go.
Well, and something else I learned: don't price on cost, price on value.
Absolutely.
price on value. And your market may be, hey, Love More Style Coaching, what is up? Because if you're losing money, what business do you have?
Yeah.
Right, you're going backwards.
You're going backwards, and you'll be broke, busted, and disgusted.
Yes,
that's what I like to say. Back to you, Ryan.
Well, the pricing part is, I was wanting to dig a bit deeper into that. So now the flip side of that, and as you mentioned, Dr. Vibe, like adding value. So what are things that entrepreneurs can do to now make their business able to price more, able to charge more? Because a lot of people are very apprehensive with charging a lot. Like they feel like they don't want to be like overly priced. So how do you, like, as you're talking to entrepreneurs, how do you kind of balance that with encouraging them to charge more and them feeling anxious about it?
Yeah, no. So one of the things that can help to remove the anxiety and to remove some of the fear or trepidation is to research. So have you, as a business owner, talked to 100 companies, individuals about your product, about your service, get feedback about what you're up to, and then how well do you know the marketplace, for your particular product or service? How many other customers are out there? Sorry, how many other providers of that particular service are out there? How many other individuals are out there doing what you're doing? And then so you're aware of the pricing that's happening and taking place around you, so that knowledge and information, that research then can give you that, comfort and reassurance about the price that you potentially could offer. And then you have to look at the attributes of your service, the attributes of your product, what your product is doing, what it's speaking to. If it's skincare, you're using fine ingredients, and then what are the attributes that the user will take from this? If it's a particular service, what are you doing as the service provider? What knowledge are you bringing? For myself, I always talk about my commercial awareness and the fact that I'm not just going to come in and do debits, credits, produce a P&L for you. The advice and guidance is going to be meaningful. It's going to be impactful, and it's going to help you to build the business. It's going to help you to grow your business.
I'm going to add on something else that a lot of people don't think about. Testimonials. Easy way, especially video testimonials. Credibility leads to profitability. Let me say that again. Credibility leads to profitability. And especially now, okay, family, you see I play that promo with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. That's credibility.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That's credibility right there. That is an individual who has a social media following of over 1 million people. So they're like brand ambassadors. So get those testimonials so you can say, hey, these are the people who know that I'm good. Right? They've used my product, business or service, and they know I'm good. They will vouch for me. Right? So if you're doing really good, the price you charge now should be different than the price you charge next year at this time.
No. Very, very much so.
Right? Because there's this thing called inflation. Right? Get people to buy you because first they're going to buy you, but they also want to buy your value, what you bring. I'll give a perfect example. There was a lady who I met on Clubhouse. I haven't been on Clubhouse for years.
Right.
And I hadn't spoken to her for 2 years. She reached out to me via Instagram last week and she says, Dr. Vibe, I want to do stuff on StreamYard. I want to do a show. I want to do a coaching show. I said, okay. She says, how much do you charge? I told her the price. 2 minutes. Let's go. Because she knows she's been watching me. And I think adding to what Sean is saying, don't think that people aren't watching you.
No.
And also,
go ahead.
Don't think that people can't afford to pay.
Yeah, exactly.
That was one thing that I struggled with a lot because when we were doing the car cleaning, when I first started, we used to charge $40, $50 for the service that we now charge $180 for. So that same value we added a couple stuff because we got better equipment, but the same effort and time, we used to be charged like $50. And at the end of the year, you realize, you've been going backwards. Like there's no money in the account. So you're really struggling. And then raising the price. And it was a mentor of mine that said, have you actually done, what do they call it? You call it like a cost analysis, but the unit economics of your business. And so breaking down everything that we're paying for, the time, that was the labor cost was not factored in at all. And then finding a proper price. So that price that we came up with, my heart, you could feel the sweat. You're like, nobody who could, but what I was thinking is me. I couldn't afford to pay that price. But there's so many people in this world, in this city that are doing well, that want high value, high quality service and are willing to pay for it. And even having low prices sometimes diminishes your credibility. Because people's like, oh, if you're only charging $50, you can't be good. So
exactly.
there's a mindset that comes with pricing as well.
I'll just add one more thing, man, and have Sean come back in. So a few months ago now, I was on the brand sponsorship summit that Mary Armstrong had put on. And for people who caught that, you caught gems there. You know that. And I'm going to be on Mario's back today to get the repeat out for those who paid for it. But he had a panel of industry experts when it came to brand sponsorship. And someone asked one of the panelists, talked about pricing. She goes, I always have problems with pricing. I don't know what to do. And she said, what's your advice? And I think Mario posted a reel on it on his timeline just recently. This lady said, you should price that when you look at it, you puke.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm never gonna forget the line, but she's right. She was right.
Yes.
Because even if they can't afford that price, if you're pricing correctly, we're giving some game here, that you have some margins to negotiate that you're still making profit.
And I think that's what you were talking about, Sean. It gives you wiggle room. It gives you buffer to then have negotiations. When you're at the bottom, you're stuck.
Yeah. And there's nowhere to go.
Hayden has a question for you here. Good morning, gentlemen. Are there steps, processes that a new startup can use to gain confidence early? Good question. And before we go there, I'm going to shut it down on Instagram. Thanks, everyone, for watching the IG Live. If you want to get your full conversation, please go to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and watch the full thing. Remember, subscribe, notifications, etc. Remember to give yourself grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Bye. So go ahead.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, Hayden, just to answer your question and to give some input to your question. Research, number one. So research your idea, research your product, your service. Speak to, I would suggest, a minimum of 50 people about what it is that you're wanting to do, about your products, about your service, and then find out from them some of the things that make them purchase that particular service or that particular product. So it's going to give you some insights. You'll have some research. You have some understanding of the marketplace. Again, having that vision where you want your business to be in 5 years' time, and then from there you're able to build in some milestones, and really have a good plan. Because this is one of the main things is having that plan, having that vision of where it is that you want to be and where you're getting to. So planning and research will give you confidence.
Excellent, love that.
Anything you want to add on that, Ryan?
No, I'll add the next question. I was just curious, when now some people have their year end of December, some it's March, but planning for year end and as tax time's coming up. So that same, how do you start the business properly so that when year end comes, you're not scrambling? Like, what are some best practices that we can put in place?
Put some processes in place. So definitely around good bookkeeping processes, some discipline around. So when you're starting out, you're not going to have a huge volume of, most businesses do not have a huge volume of transactions. You're going to have, a handful, 10, 20, 30 transactions that may happen in a month, or, over a couple of weeks. So there are tools that you can use, spreadsheets, that you can utilize to keep account and keep record of your expenses, keep track of your expenditure, keep track of your income, setting up a business bank account.
Yes. Talk about that, please and thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Set up a business bank account. If it is that you can take your own monies and put those, and you can loan that money to the business. So for instance, you want to have, say for instance, $5,000 in the business. You can loan that $5,000 to the business. So there's some cash in the bank, in the business bank account, that you can use to, acquire materials, pay for services. But using that business bank account and having that separation from yourself is key. And it keeps things a lot easier and manageable for the business in terms of getting them ahead and being on top of its tax position. But the main thing is processes and discipline. There are a few free accounting softwares that's out there. Wave being one. Put that in place. And speak to a CPA. You'll be able to have some initial conversations with a CPA for free. Someone such as myself, you'll be able to interact with me for 15, maybe 30 minutes initially, free consultation, and utilize that. Get some insights, get some help and support. It's the fees that are charged are not exorbitant, and these fees will provide you with good insight and good direction, and it's going to pay for itself.
Absolutely.
A CPA, all professionals really should pay for themselves in terms of the advice, the guidance, and what they put into the business. Yeah. So it's really you investing in the business.
All right. So some more comments here. Fitness IQ says, Yes, I say that all the time. Business bank account.
Yes.
She goes, yes. Shanake Hall says, we sell largely based on our process and the business and organizations that see value in our services, and our past work usually don't have a problem with this. The market client will find the money to spend. Exactly. The market, the client will
Absolutely.
find money if they see value in it. Absolutely.
True.
The first lady of ACBN, Miss Charmaine Hussey. Good morning. She says, do you price to match competitors or compete against them?
That's a great question.
It is.
Yeah.
That's why she's the first lady at ACBN. She's on fire.
I would say it sort of depends on your strategy and where you are. So ultimately, yes, you're going to be competing against you are going to be competing against another business that's out there in the marketplace, but you're going to have to differentiate yourself in some way. Prices can be one thing, but service offering, product offering is going to be another thing.
Yeah, I think also too, that's, and Sean said earlier, research. What are your competitors not doing?
Mm-hmm.
Right? What are they not doing? And implement that in your product, service, or business offering, and say, wow, I didn't hear. And when they see your potential clients see what you're not doing, or what others aren't doing, and they go, wow. Like the other day, I was talking to some people and say, like, how did you find this product and service? And they go, oh, well, it was listed first on the internet. People are lazy. So even things like SEO, when someone Googles your company, do they see it first? In that, because if they don't, and they have to look, people are lazy, family. We're lazy. If that first thing, they click on it, they see it, bang.
Yeah, make it easy for them to buy.
Make it easy. The easier it is for them, the better. And that's the same thing too with Sean and what he does. Maybe initially you don't have all your books in order, but he's going to tell you what you need to do. The
Very
more
much
work
so.
you have to give to an accountant, the more money you're going to have to pay them.
Right.
Right? Because I know Sean could give some horror stories of some clients that have brought some stuff to him. And I'm sure, I know Sean don't cuss that often, but I'm sure there's times he's wanted to cuss.
Right.
It's good stuff. So I know, Sean, you got stuff to get to. Any final thoughts you'd like to share with us? And yeah, I would, like, offline, I'd love you to come up with something you can put with our Discord family. But any last things you'd like to share with us today?
Yeah, I'll definitely put together the 10 tax tips for businesses. The one takeaway I'd like to to kind of impart or to leave everyone with is planning. Do you have one? If not, you got to create one. Create a plan. Where 2024 is on our doorstep. What is your plan for 2024? What does January, February, March look like for you? And what will the activities you do during those first 3 months, how that drive the remaining 9 months? So set a plan. What's going to happen in January, February, March, April, May, June, July. And you should be able to kind of have a fairly firm idea of what's going to happen, the different events, the different trade shows you're going to participate in, the various conferences, have an understanding of some of the activities that your clients are going to engage in during that time and how that potentially will impact you and what you're up to. So having a plan, setting a budget, setting a forecast, and then challenging yourself. Don't just set something that's easily attainable. Stretch yourself with your budget, stretch yourself with your forecast, really challenge yourself. It's that age-old saying of shooting for the stars, and then you'll land on the moon. So
there you go. Any last comments, Ryan?
No, I always appreciate getting to have conversation with you, Sean. Looking forward to our year end and taxes, all the joys of numbers and receipts. So we shall definitely talk with you soon. And people, make sure his email is there. He's very forthcoming with his time and just having those initial consultations. So don't take advantage of it because it's great information.
I have helped some of the same entrepreneurs that Sean has helped. And whenever I mention, even if I mention Sean's name the first time, they've heard about them, or the ones that are working with it, he's fantastic. Like I say, hey, do you know Sean? Yeah, I've met with him. He's fantastic. So I will vouch for him. I vouch for him on Instagram. I told people anytime, go to the episode, catch the contact information. And even I've set up a client meeting for him this Thursday with someone. And I'm speaking, it's going to be a really good thing. And again, you can see that Sean gives a whole look at your business. He just doesn't do your taxes. Let's take a look at the whole thing. And how does that, does that fit your goal, dream, and desire? And what do you need to do, especially numbers wise, to hit your goal, dream, and desire?
And one final question. I was curious, somebody was asking, do you recommend having an accountant do your bookkeeping, or should you have like a bookkeeper in-house and then they give the info to the accountant?
It depends on the circumstances, but for the more part, I would suggest that, utilizing a bookkeeper. But to some degree, in the initial stages, I would challenge a business owner to do it themselves, because you're going to understand where every dollar goes. So you're going to challenge yourself. Why did I spend that $100 here? Why did I spend that $500 there? Did I obtain good value for the money that I spent? So initially, whilst you don't have hundreds and hundreds of transactions, do it yourself. You're going to get to understand where your monies are going, because you want to really know where every dollar that's leaving the business, where it's going to, what you spent that dollar on, and did you obtain value for money from that? And setting aside, a Sunday morning, Saturday morning.
Yeah, put in
spending, an hour, 90 minutes looking at your numbers. It's going to keep you on top of what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's really important, knowing your numbers. And it's interesting. Again, it's an old show, but it was a great show. And I remember a few years ago sharing with Ryan, there was a show called The Prophet.
Mm-hmm. That the replays of that are still worth watching.
Yes, and it was hosted by a gentleman named Marcus Lemonis. He owns a company. Well, he owns a number of companies, but the major one, there's a chain he owns in the United States called Camping World, which is outdoor, sort of like outdoor stuff. And the show The Prophet, and I'm going to highly recommend this. If you go on YouTube and watch repeat episodes, he would go into like people, entrepreneurs and business would send them ideas saying, hey, we need help.
Right.
So he would come in and he would evaluate the businesses. And like this show was on for like 4 or 5 seasons. And it was incredible how many times people's books were not in order. Mm-hmm. Like it was mind blowing and going, don't people watch this show? Don't they know he's going to be looking for this?
Yes. And he would put his money where his mouth is, because he would say, hey, this is what it's going to take to fix your business, invest in them, and then turn the ship around.
He would say he would put in whatever amount of money for whatever, but he said he was 100% in control.
Right, yes.
Even if you put like 20% in, he was 100% in control. Yeah. And another cool thing, he did his agreements on a handshake.
Yes.
He did it on a handshake.
Definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, so highly recommend it. Marcus Lemonis, The Prophet. Okay, and a few last things here. Ryan, Fitness IQ Cam liked your last question. Wayne Harris said, good morning, all. I had to step away, but I'm catching up now. Loving the convo. Wayne, if you want an introduction to Sean, I think you would be great with each other. I think we're building up a panel. We got to have the Wayne Harris, the Sean, the Ray McMillan, and the Roger Dundas. Woo! Oh my gosh. Wayne brings up a good final point. Zeller said the lowest price is the law, and they were killed by Walmart. Do not participate. Do not participate in the race to the price bottom. Good thing to end off with. Good thing to end off. All right, Sean, to you and your family, don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourselves grace. And we're going to be chatting, maybe not today, but definitely later on this week. So thanks again for all your time.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Always a pleasure.
Great
You're
being
open to come back anytime. I think we may ask you out back periodically, just give some tips and things for our audience. All right.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Take care.
Yeah, you
Bye-bye.
too. Thank you.
All right.
Excellent.
Great stuff. See, Sean's everywhere. Ryan knows him. I know him.
Yes.
Like there's so many entrepreneurs that I speak with that know Sean, and I go, how does he keep up?
I know there's a lot of over 300 conversations. That's a lot of consultation.
But that shows his commitment to seeing Black business succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love seeing that.
All right.
So stop teasing, man. What's the big news?
You know what? I'm not gonna do
know what the news is.
I'm not gonna do it till Friday. The reason being is I'm gonna see if she's watching. I'm gonna ask Dr. Tachi to come on with me because she was involved in it.
Oh,
partially.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'll see, and I don't know. I know we have a guest on Friday, but even if I'm gonna put out there to see if Dr. Tachi can jump in for the first part of. Oh, you won't be here. You'll be walking.
Oh, for the first part, do it at the end. We can do it at the end. No.
Yeah. We can do it.
If Dr. Tachi can come, that's good.
Yeah, but whether she comes or not, we got a big announcement about the Dr. Vibe show getting to the next level. We're gonna have that on Friday, and I may see if I can get the person, one of the two, at least one or both the people involved. Oh, so Friday we have Laura Scarlett.
Right.
So I still need to get her bio.
Okay, I will touch base with her to get that.
Yeah, so set up a little bit about Laura Scarlett, about her. Tell us a little bit about her.
She's the one we met at the Toronto Business Summit, and she was talking about using AI to amplify LinkedIn. And then as we started working together, learned more about her history, a big advocate for mental health and really being a powerhouse woman in the mortgage world. Now she's an investor. So a lot of backstory, but she's definitely killing it on LinkedIn. I think she has over 30,000 connections and followers on LinkedIn, which is the max. So you can't have more than 30,000 connections. So I thought I was
LinkedIn.
Yeah, I was like aggressive on LinkedIn, but then you see a person doing it at another level, and she did workshops to teach us how to improve what we're doing and using AI to automate it too.
Fitness IQ Cat says, "Watcha," and Dr. Chachi says she can come on. So Ryan, okay. So do you want that for the end of the conversation then on Friday?
No, the people want to hear. I've been following, so I heard a bit of the news. So if Dr. Tachi can come on in the morning, that'd be great.
Well, do you want it? We want to make this announcement at the beginning or the end?
It's up to when Dr. Tachi is available. If she's available at the beginning, do it then. If at the end, do it then.
Yeah, she says she can come on. And I've actually got to chat with you, Dr. Tachi. There's some more stuff I got to share with Dr. Tachi. She doesn't know about it, which is interesting. Look at this. Fitness IQ. Make it now? No. Sorry. No, we're not.
Yes.
Well, okay. So Dr. Tachi, what do you want to do? Do you want to come on now or do you want to wait till Friday? So I'll wait for your comment in the chat, and I'll wait. If she wants to wait till Friday, no problem. This is sort of really ad hoc, but if I'm thinking maybe Friday because she's have to really get things. So let you know what?
I was saying Friday morning or at the beginning or at the end. If she would.
Well, you probably want to be on it too, so probably better at the end.
All right. So ask her if she's available then.
Yeah. So after Laura, so we'll look somewhere between the 10 and 10:30 hour on Friday. We got a major announcement that involves myself, but also involves Dr. Tachi also. And just say things have gotten bigger in a good way.
Excellent.
Oh, I can come on now. I can't come now Friday. So she said that. So it's on Friday. So Dr. Tachi and I will chat on the back channel. And so thinking about the end of the show on Friday, we will do that. All right. So what's up for the rest of the week, Ryan?
Yeah, we have our session on Wednesday about the $10,000 raise grant. So like I said, don't wait until the deadline, which is Friday, December the 8th. Get it in as soon as you can. Even without my help, just go. It's pretty straightforward because they're going first come, first serve. So once that money is spent, they're going to close the application, and we would have missed another $10,000 that can
potentially.
Yes.
We got to make that potentially, right?
Yeah.
Just potentially.
You definitely will miss it if you do not apply. So that is 100% guaranteed. If you don't apply, you will miss that money.
You won't get it.
Let's get it in.
Anything else up for the week?
No, it's pretty quiet. Gonna just be preparing for Christmas season. Gotta start creating some offers that people can buy as gifts, gift certificates and different strategic ways to prepare and support the business. So that's gonna be exciting. But yeah, what about yourself? Anything?
Well, today I'm hoping to meet with you.
Yes.
We want to get in that application in. Also, usual coaching session for training coaches tonight, and then tomorrow I'm doing a training for someone who wants to launch a live show. Oh, actually, another thing, family, as it goes on, I am going to be producing. Looks like I'm going to be producing a brand new show on Dr. Tachi's Indie Soup Media.
Very cool. Okay.
And actually, there's potential of me producing 2 shows on that platform coming up. So one looks like it's in the works, having a conversation with the participants this week. And so and it's semi-quiet, but it's a nice pace, and also just getting ready for next year. I'm already end of year's already done, just getting ready for next year and just doing some reflection, but also forecasting.
Excellent.
And also introducing people to each other. I'm always doing that now, just putting people who align correctly. So before we finish off, please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also follow Dr. Vibe on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Also follow Ryan wherever he is, because he's everywhere. He's Ryan Pulse. He's not Ryan Pulse. He's City Pulse.
Mainly on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn.
There you go. If you want to
underestimated powerhouse.
Yes. So don't.
And speaking of which, so with Laura Scarlett's help, I've been able to eclipse over 6,000 connections on LinkedIn, and I think it's 6,200 followers. So when we first met, I was around 4,000. So definitely improving, increasing there.
So if you want to level up your LinkedIn game,
be
Friday.
Here
and I'm gonna be taking some serious notes, but the thing is managing all that stuff.
True. That's why I'm telling you, the AI tools, they exist to make our lives easy. Autopilot, it can be doing, it can do a lot more than I realized it could do. So definitely stay tuned for that.
All right. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. You're seeing reasons why now. San's going to put some stuff together that's only going to be available to the Discord group people. And Brian, I apologize because I'm speaking. I should have put your name too. Sorry.
Yeah, so, I'm still in training, so it's all good.
Stop it.
Work on that.
Stop it. You're on.
Get my promotion soon.
Yes. So you can watch replays of this on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and Facebook. The Afro-Caribbean Business Network, Facebook and YouTube, and the Ryan Oneil Knight on YouTube. And can't do LinkedIn because we can't broadcast twice on LinkedIn, so YouTube. But Ryan is broadcasting on his YouTube channel, and also follow him on YouTube also. Thank you very much. We're done. Wait till Friday. So let's finish off. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions and aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace. And don't just manage your time, manage your energy. God bless. Peace well. Keep the faith. Walk good. And we'll see you on Friday, but in between Friday. Take care.